Namaskar. My father, late Sri Gurudata Reddy, was an affectionate patriarch to his extended family. He loved and supported many of his nieces and nephews on par with his own children without even having an iota of difference. I now request my cousin, Mr. Jayant Reddy, who is the co-founder of ACE Info Solutions, member of the Virginia Small Business Commission, advisory director of IT Services Alliance, and is on the board of several companies, to kindly come and pay his tributes.
Everyone, thank you for giving me this opportunity to say a few words on this occasion. I have so many fond memories of Mamaya. You know, he was the embodiment of discipline, hard work, and an appreciation, deep appreciation for education. You know, I am, even though nephew, always felt I had a special affection. He had a special affection for me. Even from my childhood, he was an inspiration to me. While I was going to high school, in Methodist Boys High School, he was always inquiring about my courses, my grades, my teachers, and how I should do better and excel. So that gave me so much encouragement. Mamaya and my dad, Lingareddy, Baba I call my dad, they had so many similarities. They had so much passion for good ethics and hard work, but more importantly, their passion for educating the kids, their kids, was unbelievable. They were so passionate. By sending all three sons for higher education to the US, Mamaya set an example to the rest of the family, and he was a pioneer that inspired us, many in the extended family, including myself, to do engineering and to go for higher studies. I went to the US in 1985, and at that time it wasn't very common at all. So Mamaya and my cousins Gurana, Viran, Ragana, they all went to US, and they were inspiration for me to go and do higher studies. I met him multiple times in the US, lately during the weddings of Rishi, Reva, and Srushti. Was always delighted to see Kavita and me. He proudly introduced me to others in the family with the comments that I have a very successful company, that I am providing employment to hundreds of people, and he was so proud of my achievements. And those kinds of words and encouragement gave me more determination, more passion to be more successful in my life. During my trips to India, I always made a point to meet him and look forward to those meetings. The conversations touched on my kids, family, US politics, etc. You know, always talk about, America emaitunnadi, president etlunnadu, those types of conversations were always happening. Unfortunately, it was saddening to see his health deteriorate in the last couple of trips, but we were always having the great conversations. So he had a very blessed life. He was a very successful businessman, a community helper, and is succeeded by his accomplished children and grandchildren. Founding Continental Hospitals and iconic medical care facilities in Hyderabad is just one example of the success of his children. Even though he is no more, his memories will live forever. So on a lighter note, I will ask Amma, Amma, me memories enti chinnappudu when you are growing up with Mamaya, etla emundi ante, she shared a couple of interesting things. He was a very strong Arya Samaj supporter. అయితే చిన్నప్పుడు ఒకసారి ఇంటికి ఏదో బోనాల పండుగ చేస్తాం కదా, ఆ బోనాల పండుగ చేసేటప్పుడు ఒక మేకను తీసుకొచ్చి కట్టేసిందంట. సో దే వాంట్ టు మేకను కోసి మన బోనాలు చేస్తారు కదా. So he got very upset. Endi manam itla Megha gostam endi adi idani went and untied the Megha. Igu potane undanta. Amma manema Megha kabotha unnadanta. So, but he was a staunch believer in Arya Samaj, and he would never touch meat, it seems. So the Pandugaku coding goes to one chest, he smelled it, he took it to the roof of the building, and chanta kinda padesindanta. So there were so many memories that he had. He had a very disciplined and hardworking life. So even though he is not there, his memories will be with us forever. So let's respect him, especially to the younger generation, right? Work hard, achieve your goals, and most importantly, be a good human beings. Help each other, help others. Thank you for giving this opportunity again.
Who was one of his favorite brothers-in-law, and he's a walking encyclopedia in Urdu Shairi. Request him to kindly give his tribute.
నేను ఇప్పుడు కెరటంతో కంపేర్ చేస్తా. ఎగిసి పడే కెరటం విరిసి రాలే సుమం చెబుతాయి ఒక జీవితం ఒక క్షణికమని. ఆయన హార్డ్ వర్క్ కూడా లైక్ ఎ వేవ్. ఎగిసి పడినా పడి లేచినా ఆయన ఇప్పుడు వెనకాడలేదు. హీ వాజ్ సో స్టబన్ అండ్ హీ వాజ్ ప్లేడ్ లైక్ ఎ రోల్ టు మై ఫాదర్ యాజ్ అన్ ఎల్డర్ బ్రదర్. The 75% of housing board colonies was constructed by us in Hyderabad and with my father. And later on, when my father died, he played an elderly role to us. My association, which was 68 years. When I was 8 years old, my sister married to him. So, he is such a principled man, highly disciplined man, very humble person. One thing is very great in him is, if anyone is sick in any place, it 100% he used to call on them. खुशबू पहलती नहीं जब तक दोस्ती हवाओं से करे बगैर. He was like that. Thank you very much.
I'm Dr. T. Megha Reddy, and I happen to be Sri Gurdatta Reddy's eldest grandson. And when I was asked to, give a tribute and to be a part of it, on contrary, even though we had one thing in common with great difficulty was literature on Telugu. And మీరందరూ చెప్తే నేను I had to really think that, నేను ఏం చెప్పాలి వాళ్ళ తాతయ్య గురించి అన్నమాట, in my own thing. సో ఇది సి నారాయణ రెడ్డి గారి రచన అండి, ఒక చిన్న పద్యం అన్నమాట. He said that నీడలాగా నీ ఎంటపడేదే నిక్కమైన కీర్తి, రొచ్చు ఊబిలో ఉబ్బుకొచ్చేదే సత్యమైన కీర్తి, వారు 100 ఏళ్ళు పూర్తి చేసుకున్న తర్వాత చిచ్చు అంచు మీద నడిచేదే నిత్యమైన కీర్తి అన్నమాట. I don't think there is any other poem which can suffice his life. He has been nothing other than an alloy of those essential elements and minerals of hard work, integrity and discipline. He might not be here today, but his legacy and lineage will definitely live on, and we are so proud, and I am personally very proud that I am a part of his family, and and I come from his race. I can't be thankful to God more than enough. I now introduce Dr. Teju Reddy. She's the eldest grandchild of my tatya, and she is a geriatrician from Maryland, and she wants to pay her tribute to. Akka, please.
I'll try not to get emotional. Good afternoon, near and dear. Thank you for coming to our grandfather's memorial this afternoon. Today, I stand before you representing 10 of his grandchildren. My earliest memories of Tataya were from sitting with him in the Domalguda house. Every morning before school and every evening after dinner, we would sit together watching the news. In those days, we would get Doordarshan, and the news would be in 4 different languages: English, Hindi, Telugu, and Urdu. And I had to watch the news in all 4 languages, and he would explain everything that was going on in the world, along with teaching me the languages. And I think that was no less of an education I had. It was my first true Montessori education. He was my first guru, And over the years, as I was growing up, I reflected on this memory a lot. And it made me realize the true wealth of these memories. Our grandfather was our biggest cheerleader growing up. He would worry about each of his grandchildren as they tried to move forward with all their milestones in life. The day before my medicine entrance results, he landed himself in the hospital with complaints of chest pain, which turned out to be mere acid reflux at the end of the day. All of his grandchildren, many a time sitting in his library, would have heard his story from his youth. How he rebelled, how he ran away from home at the age of 14 or 15 or 16 to study way up north in the Hindu Banaras University. He then returned, enriched from his education, came back, studied in the city college, went on to become a math teacher, and then established his own business. Not many of you would know this about Tataya, that he was a deeply spiritual person. He was a staunch Hinduite, but his biggest belief was that your relationship with God is personal, and he did not like any pomp and splendor that came with it. He followed the very basic tenets of Hinduism, which was strongly inscribed in our Vedas, and nothing else. During his last few years, all 10 of his grandchildren were his true pride. We had come to a stage where we would tease him, and he would tease us right back. He had a quiet but powerful demeanor about him, and heaven forbid we entered his library with our shoes on or sat on his bed where he would keep his head. There would be no end hearing about it. I just hope moving forward, we're able to carry his flame within us and imbibe into our future generations his values, discipline, hard work, morality, and perseverance. Thank you.
Mamaya, I now request one of our close family, that's none other than my brother, Mr. Nandamuri Balakrishna Garu, to come and kindly give his tribute.
Thank you for giving the opportunity to pay my condolences to the great legends. Anna, Tota Gurudata Garu and Srimati Damayanti Garu, the right. In fact, I myself asked that I wanted to speak some words with the association, with the family. Call me an extended family member. Many great people die like my father, but they are still with us. Sweet in memories, as they were in blood and flesh, lovingly and beloved forever. There are many titles in the world, like I've done many movies and like legends and all that. I call them the true legends because with the sweet memories I had with them. Neha bhi kamna shruti satamaitu vidyate na salpamasya darpasya antarayadamayitu bhaya. So some people are born with a evolution like the Spotakam in the Palapanta for a reason. So everyone is not a great person, but some are great people, and they belong to that community, that family, that fraternity. With the association I had with them, Like I'm an actor, so when I act, we used to shoot in their house with our Kankar Ravinder Reddy Garu. With him, I got very close with the family, and we were childhood friends. And I also became a member of the extended family. Whenever I used to shoot in their house, and she used to call me, Mrs. Damayanti, the lady, used to call me aside, and I used to get food from the production. Because I used to always believe in improving my immunity. So she used to call me aside and say, "What are you eating? What is the trash you are eating?" And she used to cook for me, or whatever is cooked in the house, she used to serve to me. And he was such a jovial person and an inspiration. Always talking positive and giving, filling us with or renewing our energy with positive energy, and was always very jovial and very inspiring person. And Mr. Gurudata Reddy Garu and Mr. Raghunath Reddy Garu, I am also being a chairman of Basavatarakam Indo-American Cancer Hospital and Research Institute. So I admire them for the hospital they have started up, and which is running successfully, the Continental Hospitals. And not just one among the crowd, but they have the name of their parents also goes along with the hospital, and with them and their next generation. And I also extend for the service which he always used to talk about. He was such a simple person, ground to the earth, and that simplicity with which they are also taking forward and doing service to the society. So I have no more words to, just these few words, because great people have very few words to describe their personality and how inspiring they are to us personally and to the society. So once again I thank for giving me this opportunity to extend my condolences, and I pray, in fact, very kalkaliyanga jarigindho yaduchikanga. Today is also my Damayanti Garu's anniversary, I think, today. So both together, so I extend my condolences to them, to their all their family members, extended family members, and I just pray that their souls, they rest in peace. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Annaya, for having his brother-in-law, politician Kankar Murali Reddy, to kindly pay his tributes.
మా బావగారు ఈరోజు 12th డే. ఆయన విషయం నేనేం చెప్పినా కూడా చాలా తక్కువనే. నేను కొంతసేపు 2 నిమిషాలు టైం తీసుకుంటాను. మా అక్కగారు ఈరోజు ఆమెది కూడా ఈ విధంగా జరిగిపోయింది. చాలా అన్యూన్యమైన జంట వీరు. మా బావగారు కుటుంబం విషయంలో డాక్టర్ గురునాథ్ రెడ్డి, వీరనాథ్ రెడ్డి, రఘునాథ్ రెడ్డి వీరి విషయంలో ఎంత చేసేదో వాళ్ళు కూడా అదే డిసిప్లిన్గా పేరు ప్రతిష్ట తీసుకొస్తున్నారు. మా బావగారు మేము ఆయన చూస్తే మా నాన్నను చూసినట్టు అనిపించేది. ఇది ఫ్యాక్ట్, నేను ఎక్కడ అబద్ధం ఆడలేదు. ఎందుకంటే మా నాన్న ఆయన చాలా సన్నిహితంగా మెలిగేది. ఎక్కడ పోయినా ఏడికైనా ఏ అడ్వైజ్ లేకుండా మా ఫాదర్ తీసుకొని పోతుండే, ఆయన కూడా ఈయనకు చెప్తుండే. కాబట్టి మాకు అనిపిస్తుండే మా నాన్నగారు పోయినా కూడా ఎప్పుడైనా మా బావగారు ఆరోగ్యంగా ఉన్నప్పుడు కలిస్తే మంచి మంచి మాటలు చెప్తుంది. ఏవి ఉద్రేకంగా, ద్వేషంగా పనికొచ్చే మాటలే చెప్తుంది. అటువంటి మహనీయుడు ఈరోజు స్వర్గలోకం పోయిందని నేను ఆశిస్తున్నాను. మరి మా అక్కగారు కూడా మాకంటే ముందే ఆమె కూడా జరిగిపోయింది. ఆత్మకు శాంతి కలిగి ఈరోజు ఏదైతుందో అది వారిద్దరికీ వెంకటేశ్వర స్వామి ఆశీస్సులు కలిగి, అలివేలు మంగమ్మ ఆశీస్సులు కలిగి, మరి మీ అందరి మా అక్క సోదరులు
చెల్లెళ్ళు, తమ్ముళ్ళు, అన్నలు, పంతులు అందరి ఆశీర్వాదం వాళ్ళకి లభ్యంగా వాళ్ళ మనశ్శాంతి కలిగి వాళ్ళ కుటుంబానికి ప్రశాంత వాతావరణం ఇవ్వాలి. మరొకసారి వెంకటేశ్వరాన్ని వేడుకుంటూ సెలవు తీసుకుంటాం. Invite Mr. Veernath Reddy. He happens to be the second child of Sri Gurdatta Reddy Garu, that's my grandfather, who's also an entrepreneur from Houston, and he would like to pay his tribute.